How's it going, everybody? It is that time of the month again to go over the monthly statistics. We're going to go over September because they just came in. I can't believe September just flew by. Here we are again. I feel like I just made this video a few weeks ago, which I guess I did. But if you are getting this, so they've... my board has changed how they're giving the stats. They're now giving in this big PDF, which is fantastic because what I'm going to do is everybody receiving this video in their email, it's also going to come with this PDF. I do know I upload this video to YouTube, so if you are one of the viewers on YouTube and you have not received this PDF, feel free to drop a comment below and I'll find a way to get it to you. But let's dive into what is happening because, man, did we have a month. So I'll put myself here and then I'll talk about it after. I'm going to get a little pen out. So here's my graph. It's my favorite little chart. For those of you that tune in, you know it is. They've modified it a little bit, but not by much. They put in the benchmark pricing, but we've been focusing on average price, so I'm going to continue with that. I do think, however, there is an error on this chart that I will point out. So let's start right off the bat with the average sale price. So the average sale price, $782, and this is huge, down 2.7% year over year. Why is this so big? Because up until now, we were still up year over year. In August, it was 1.7%. We were still in the positive. We've crossed that threshold now. We're down 2.7%, and there's a lot of factors, and I'm going to go over what those factors are. So if we look at the chart, you're going to see that the new listings has spiked back up. So green is new listings here. So we saw a little bit of a dip, and this is where we'd seen the average price starting to level out a bit. It did go down, but it only went down, I believe it was last month, it was down 2%, 2.3%, something like that. But from last month to this month, the average sale price is down 1.7%. So it's starting to curve. This is where I think they plotted this chart wrong because for some reason it looks like the average price is going up when it should actually be a little bit below it because prices did go down 1.2% month over month. However, it does start to show that we are seeing some stability. Okay, now touching back on the new listings, what I wanted to get at was when we have a lot of new listings, this is when we were seeing the decline at the start of the year. The big decline here was because we had high inventory. Inventory shrunk, like the new listings shrunk, and we started to see a bit of a leveling out. Now, new listings has come up again, which is why we've seen the price decline, or as it should be showing here, declining. As well, I always like to look at the gap between the blue, which is the sales, and the green, the new list. I like to see that because I notice when this gap is smaller, we tend to see things balancing and evening out a bit more. However, at the start of the year when the gap was huge, that's when we were seeing these dramatic declines. Right now, again, here, the gap has gotten bigger if you compare it to the month before and the month before that. So we are starting to trend to that high amount of new listings and low amount of sales. With that, I want to talk about the sales because we actually broke, I just went the wrong way here. Bear with me. What I want to talk about here is the amount of sales last month was 425. What this means is last month, there is only 425 sales in all of Hamilton. That's down 41% year over year. Why this is so big is we have never had so few sales in a September in over a decade. So it's been over 10 years since we've had 425 or less sales. Like we've never had this little sales in 10 years. I guess I'd been licensed for a year the last time this happened, and now here we are 10 years later. I'm seeing it again. New listings is up 10%. Again, we talked about that. One cool new thing that they're including, which I'm going to start tracking and mentioning every video now, is this inventory. So before we were just getting the new listings, we weren't getting the actual amount of homes on the market. So this is the actual amount of homes on the market at the time, like at the end of September, as things are reported. So the inventory was up 145% from last year. So not only do we have interest rates raising, affecting affordability, we have more homes for buyers to choose from. This is obviously gonna, cause a decrease in the price. Months of supply, 3.4%. So if you're just tuning into, which it tripled, by the way, 300% tripled, so this is insane too. If you're just tuning in this video for the first time, I always look at months of supply because months of supply tells us what kind of market we're in. Months of supply essentially is how long it would take every home on the market to sell if no other homes got listed in the market in that time period. So we're at 3.4 months. we saw this number used to be 1.2. At one point last year, it touched under 1%. But anything from 0 to 3 months is a seller's market. 3 to 5 is balanced. 5+ is a buyer's market. So we are in a balanced market officially. And people will say, well, things are slow out there. There's not a lot of sales. How are we in a balanced market? Again, look at these average days on market. Okay, the average days on market, 27.7 days. Now, this may seem like eternity to people that have just been getting into real estate in the last few years, which I get. 27.7 days does sound like a lot. But previously, before all the chaos, even back in 2015, 2016, it was common to see 60 days on the market. When I first started, we had listings for 3 months on the market, 4 months on the market. It's just the way things were. So to still have a balanced market in 27.7 days, average days, is still pretty good. It means that homes are still moving. So those are some of the factors. There's another chart in here. I'm going to send over this whole PDF to you guys, like I said, because you can actually look at it, your areas, everything's broken down. But this is a graph I want to point out because they just started coming out with this, where they compare the months of supply, the number we just talked about, that 3.4, to the average prices and how it affects it. So let me get my little marker out. Okay, so the you can see back 2012, we had decent levels of months of supply. Like we were looking almost close to that 4% mark. It was in the threes, 3-ish, whatever, high 2s. And the average price was lower, which is the green, the teal, whatever this color is, the average price was lower. As we saw in 2016, if you're around the market then, you'll remember the 2015, 2016, this is when we start to see some insanity. And you could see that the months of supply had shrunk, and that caused home prices to really increase until 2017 when the government came out with the stress test and the foreign buyer tax. So some government intervention there. We saw the months of supply spike again. Okay, then the months of supply kind of, went wavy as it does. 2018 was a bit of a slower year. Then we hit 2019. Things were really starting to pick up. Now, before COVID, before things went insane, we were actually feeling this. Like I was seeing this in the market. I thought, okay, 2020 is going to ramp up to be a big year because competition was coming back. The months of supply were low, and we were seeing the average price spike here. Then we had, COVID 2020. Started 2020, COVID hit. You can see the drop right here. Boom. That was it. Nobody transacted real estate for like a month. Now, since then, things went crazy. You can see how the months of supply shrunk, all the way to when we were hitting that peak in February. So they skyrocketed. I mean, look at this increase, how this was until this happened, and now we're, boom. This is nuts. It's almost like we shouldn't even count that these years happen, which pretty much we're not going to, because look at how much it's come down here, right? You're drawing it across. We're looking at these prices. You basically got to pretend like this never happened. So if you're trying to compare your house to a house that sold then, that's a fictional market. It's not real. It didn't happen, okay? And you'll see that the months of supply are now shooting back up. That's my shooting up sound effect. They're shooting back up as the prices are coming down. So you can see the last time we had these kind of months on market, back here, you can see how much lower the average sale price was. So I do think that unless something happens with the interest rate or something comes in, this is going to continue to drop, and we're going to start to see an increase in the months of supply. So just crazy stuff going on. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but that's the breakdown. I'm going to send over this PDF. I'm just going to scroll through a little bit so you can see what's in it. You'll be able to check out the sales by your district, whatever area you live in. You'll be able to see your average sale price based on the area of Hamilton you live in, and then see what the change has been by via map or whatever. They're all numbered, 10, 12, whatever, and you can cross-reference it with the chart over here. This is all the benchmark stuff, and then some summary statistics. They got a little bit of commercial information and data in there, but there's not a lot of sales. Like you're only seeing 1, 2, 2, 1 sales. Like, it's not a ton to really go off of for month over month, year over year. Interesting to look at, but that's basically the PDF. Anyways, thanks so much for tuning in again this month. I appreciate each and every one of you. It is a pleasure to make these videos, and I look forward to making another one next month. Anyways, take care, and I'll talk to you later.